People hold up placards against the Conservative government as they gather in Whitehall, to protest after the fire at Grenfell Tower, which engulfed the 24-story building on Wednesday, in London, Saturday, June 17, 2017. More than £3 million, $3.8 million, has been raised for victims of the London high-rise fire that has killed at least 30 people and left dozens homeless. Jonathan Brady/Pa via AP, Associated Press. By Associated Press, June 17 at 3:48 p.m. London. The latest on the London high-rise fire, all times local. 8:40 p.m. British Prime Minister Theresa May, facing criticism for the government's handling of the Grenfell Tower fire disaster, has met with 15 survivors and community leaders at her official residence at 10 Downing Street in London. The meeting lasted more than 2 hours Saturday, but the group did not speak to reporters gathered outside. The meeting is unlikely to quell complaints that May has been slow to reach out to fire survivors, despite her announcement of a $6.4 million emergency fund to help displaced families. Some 600 people were living in the tower's 120 apartments. Police say 58 people at the tower are now confirmed or presumed dead. All the rest are homeless. May said after the meeting there have been huge frustrations in the community as people tried to get information about the fire investigation. She says the support on the ground for families who needed help or basic information in the initial hours after this appalling disaster was not good enough. 3:40 p.m. London police say 58 people who were in Grenfell Tower are still missing and assumed to be dead. Police Commander Stuart Cundy said Saturday that this number, which was based on reports from the public, may rise. He says it will take weeks or longer to recover and identify all the dead in the public housing block that was devastated by a fire early Wednesday. He said there may have been people in the tower that police are not aware of, which would add to the death toll. He says the search for remains had been paused because of safety concerns but has resumed. Emergency workers have reached the top of the 24-story tower. Cundy promised an exhausting investigation into the tragedy. He says, "My heart goes out to those affected." 2:20 p.m. London's fire department says that the reason for the subway closure near the high-rise fire disaster is because of a short-term risk of some debris falling onto the tracks. Earlier, a sign at a tube station said that the service suspension was because of the safety of nearby Grenfell Tower, suggesting structural concerns. A new sign was put up, removing that detail. Content from True Media. What's next for Algeria? The North African country looks toward the future of energy, tourism, diplomacy, and industry. A fire department spokesman said crews are working to secure the debris so that 2 subway lines could be reopened as soon as possible. At least 30 people were killed in Wednesday's inferno, which left Grenfell Tower a charred hulk. 1:30 p.m. Service on 2 London Underground lines has been partially suspended because of concerns about the safety of the high-rise in the fire that killed at least 30 people. The 24-story Grenfell Tower in the North Kensington neighbourhood in West London is near several major transport hubs. The building was gutted in a blaze early Wednesday morning that has also left dozens missing and hundreds of others homeless. Major roads near the stricken building were open Saturday. Police have established a security cordon around the building to protect public safety and allow searchers easy access to the wrecked building. 1:20 p.m. British Prime Minister Theresa May will meet with survivors of the London high-rise fire at her Downing Street office. The announcement by a spokesman comes a day after May was heckled during a visit to the West London neighbourhood where Wednesday's inferno took place. At least 30 people have been killed, hundreds of others have been left homeless and dozens of others are missing. There has been growing public anger at the government's initial response to the disaster's aftermath, and reports that external paneling put up during a recent renovation contributed to the flames' rapid spread. May is chairing a government task force on the fire, and a spokesman says that she will meet afterward with a group of residents, victims, volunteers, and community leaders at number 10 Downing Street. 12:45 p.m. A soccer player says that he will donate £50, more than $60, for each minute he plays at a European youth tournament to the victims of London's high-rise inferno. Hector Bellerin, who is in Spain's team at UEFA's European Under-21 Championship, made the announcement on Twitter, saying please support in any way. Spain faces Macedonia on Saturday night in the tournament, which is being played in Poland. If Bellerin plays a full 90 minutes, not including added time, he would donate £4,500, about $5,750, per match. Bellerin, a defender, also plays for London club Arsenal. At least 30 people were killed in the fire at Greenville Tower in the West London neighbourhood of North Kensington. Hundreds of others have been left homeless and dozens are missing. _____. 10:50 a.m. Queen Elizabeth II and her husband Prince Philip have observed a minute of silence to honour the victims of the London high-rise fire. The Queen and Philip stood silently before the start of the annual Trooping the Colour procession that marks the Queen's official birthday. She said earlier that the national mood is sombre but that Britain is resolute in the face of adversity. The Queen's official birthday is marked in June when the weather is often nicer than in April, the actual month of her birth. She is 91. At least 30 people have died in Wednesday's fire and dozens are missing. _____. 10:20 a.m. British health authorities say they are still treating 19 patients, 10 of whom remain in critical condition after the London high-rise fire. NHS England says the injured are being treated in 4 London hospitals. At least 30 people were killed in Wednesday's inferno at the Greenville Tower, while dozens of others are missing. The fire at the 24-storey building has led to community anger and protests over the British government's response. The public is also demanding answers about how the blaze spread so quickly amid reports that the recently renovated building's exterior paneling fueled the flames. _____. 7:50 a.m. More than £3 million, $3.8 million, has been raised for victims of the London high-rise fire that has killed at least 30 people and left dozens homeless. Londoners and others have also donated huge amounts of food, water, and clothing, and shelter, to survivors. 3 appeals on the Just Giving site have helped to raise the £3 million, and London's Evening Standard newspaper has launched a separate appeal that has raised at least £1.5 million, $1.9 million, by Saturday morning. The British government has announced a £5 million, $6.3 million, emergency fund for the victims. The inferno Wednesday morning at the 24-storey Greenville Tower has led to community anger and protests over the government's response. _____. 7:20 a.m. London firefighters are continuing the grim search after a high-rise fire that killed at least 30 people as public anger about the blaze continues to grow. Many are demanding answers for how the blaze spread so quickly. Britain's Press Association says around 70 people are missing.